So what's up, YouTube? KidMoto22 here, coming to you today. Well, coming to you today when things still aren't yet back to normal. I hope everybody is staying safe and following whatever guidelines are in your area to keep you and your loved ones healthy and protected during these kind of strange and unique times we're in right now. So, if any of you have watched or seen my install video for my Arlen Ness air cleaner, you'll know that I completed my stage 1 with the install of that air cleaner. And so I did install the FP3 Vance & Hines tuner, and that's what I want to talk to you guys about today. Let's talk to you a little bit about how I feel like that process went, the tune on the bike, and looks like I'm gonna get stopped by a single train car. Alright, well, welcome back. KidMoto here. Talking to you guys today about what I think of the tune and kind of talk about FP3 and the tab performance pipes that I have on here. So I didn't do an install on those because I used them for a season and I wasn't motovlogging or putting out content before I put those pipes on, but I do have tab performance slip-ons with the zombie baffle on my bike, and I wanted to complete the stage 1 this year, and so I still have the stock header pipes. I think those will be replaced next season. But so I have the stock header pipes, I have the tab performance slip-ons with the zombie baffle, and then the Arlen Ness 15 spoke high input air cleaner, and that kind of completes my stage 1 install. So I was thinking that when I did the tune with the FP3 that I was going to be in a position to have to select a tune in the FP3 that was close to what I have in terms of pipes, because I have, you know, a few different products that make up my stage 1, and obviously it's a Vance & Hines tuner, and so not knowing if the Vance & Hines would have my actual pipes and product from my stage 1 in place, I thought that I would be able to, that I would have to choose a tune that was close, run that for a couple tanks of gas, and then do the auto tune. So to my surprise, when I went and looked at the tunes that were available, there was a tune available with my pipes, which actually made that process a lot easier. So the FP3 has a canned map for the Harley touring bikes that has the tab performance pipes with the zombie baffles. It has the stock header pipes and a high output air cleaner, or high input air cleaner, I should say. So that was a canned map that I did not have to run the auto tune on, and I would have to say that I have been more than happy with the 4 times I've been out this year with this tune. My bike is running very good with the canned map. I'm positive, or fairly positive after this point, that I will not have to run the auto tune. which is really great. I have it on good authority. Tony Cox, if you guys don't know him or follow him, you need to check his channel out. But he told me that the map is going to get better, your tune's going to get better, it's going to feel better after a couple tanks of gas. So after your bike has gotten used to riding with the new map, and the ECM has gotten used to your bike, and all those things are kind of lined up, that it's going to feel better after a couple tanks of gas. So that was encouraging to know, because I think right now that it's running spectacularly well. Now, I didn't dyno tune it prior to doing any of this, and I did dyno tune it after. So my thoughts and opinions on this are all about, my ass on the seat and the time riding the bike. And so the first thing, so the actual, horsepower measurements or anything like that would be purely speculation. I have no idea what the actual performance increase has been. I can only tell you what it feels like to ride the bike. And so I'll say this: I thought the 107 Milwaukee 8 engine on the Harley touring platforms was a great engine. I thought it responded well. I thought that it handled, all of the different things that I've thrown at it in the last riding season, including a cross-country trip. I say cross-country, but over 2,000 mile trip. Going on hills and plains and various different terrains, going across various different temperatures. So in one day I rode from 40-degree weather to 90-degree weather in one day. And so without the with the stock air cleaner and just the zombie baffles, Tap Performance pipes, the zombie baffles, it handled everything that I threw at it. So I got plenty of seat time. I put almost 6,000 miles on my bike last season, so I felt good about where everything was at. So then you add the full stage 1 onto it with the Arlen Ness air cleaner, and then remapping the ECM with the FP3 with the CAN map that was already in there. And that's the experience that I'm speaking from. So I ended last season with none of it completed, and I started this season right away with the stage 1 complete. First ride, stage 1's complete. I didn't do an install in the FP3 because, quite honestly, there's 100 videos out there for FP3 install. There's videos for the baggers. And if you guys want, leave in the comments below if you want to know kind of where I put it and that kind of stuff. You can let me know. There's kind of a really easy spot right in the left side where you connect the FP3 that it kind of fits right in there. I didn't have to use zip ties or anything. It's almost like there was a spot that Harley manufactured right in there that they knew you were going to put an FP3 in there. And I don't think that's the case, but it fits perfectly in this one spot under the left side panel. So I would have to say that the first thing I noticed is that the throttle response is immediate. That was the very first thing that I noticed. It's very snappy, it's very peppy. You can see there's not any lag there. So that was the first thing I noticed that I was really happy with. I would say the sound of the pipes is just where they were before. So one thing I really like about these pipes is that when you really get on the throttle, they're plenty loud that people can hear you. But when you're riding for a long distance, there's not this constant loud drone that some people talk about that they get headaches from. I'm not experiencing that, which is really nice, because although I like the noise of the motorcycle and I want it to sound good, I don't want it to be so obnoxious that I'm waking up my neighbors, or so obnoxious that on a long trip that the sound of the motorcycle is going to give you a headache. Because I've heard many people complain of that. Their pipes are loud or too loud, that when they ride them for any length of time, they have they get this headache from the drone of the pipes, and I didn't want to go through that. So I don't have that issue with these, which I'm really excited about. So the throttle response was the first thing I noticed. The second thing I noticed was it seems to react pretty much, I mean, I would say probably a little bit more, you know, the throttle response is good all the way through the power range is kind of what I mean. So, you know, it's not just quicker, but I would say that it's quicker throughout the power range. Now, I will have to say I haven't taken it on a long trip yet and put a lot of miles on it to say how it reacts through all of the power band, but so far I've been really happy with where it's at in the power band that I use it for. So I would say that's the next thing that I'm really happy with, is that it's doing what I need to do in the power band that I use it in, which I think is one of the most important things about how you use it. I mean, you want your bike to work for how you use your bike, right? So if you're doing performance things on your bike, you want it to perform that way. If you're just cruising and you don't need all that, then don't use it. But for how I use my bike, this is absolutely perfect. Now, do I want to do some other things with that? Yeah, I think at some point I'm going to, and like I said, next season probably change out the head pipes. I would like to open it up just a little bit more. I know you can get a little bit more performance if you change out the head pipes, and I know that the Zombie Baffles tab performance pipes at Zombie Baffles are going to sound a little bit louder, which I wouldn't mind if it was a little bit louder, but they're not obnoxiously loud. Do I want to do a cam in it? I don't know, maybe a couple of years down the road. Not right now. I don't intend on doing the cam next season or anything like that, but right now it's doing everything that I want it to do, and it feels great. So through the power band, it's all been good. The other thing I like about this can is that I'm not getting any decel pop. So there's just the right amount, again, in my opinion, just the right amount of decel as I'm coming down. It sounds good, but I'm not getting the crazy decel pop, and I'm not getting any, you know, engine backfire or anything like that. So I'm feeling really good about that. So again, another reason why the can map I think is really great. And the last thing that I noticed that was interesting was after my 1,000-mile service on my bike, I had this interesting thing that would go on when my bike was in idle. So it would idle at about, you know, I think in the normal idle range, and then it would drop way down. So you could hear it kind of drop way down, and then it would kind of idle back up. And it would do this kind of inconsistent idle a little bit. You know, it didn't happen all the time. It happened enough to make it noticeable. That's gone. So with this new ECM tune on my bike, that idle kind of inconsistent idle is completely gone. It's idling at a consistent rate, at a consistent range, and it's not idling too high, and it's not idling too low. I know that that's something that some guys like. They can adjust that idle rate, and they turn it way down. And I'm not really that concerned about that. I don't think that the Milwaukee 8 engine has the same kind of potato loping sound that you hear on some of the Evo engines and the twin cams and the older Harley engines. You know, the Milwaukee 8 is a different sounding motor, and so to turn the idle way down, I don't think it serves the same effect as some of the older ones did. And so for me, there isn't that necessity or, you know, desire to turn that idle down to get that slow kind of loping idle. But this ECM map just leveled out that idle immediately, which again I was really pleased with. So overall, you know, what I think everybody would need to know is that the FP3, you know, once it's gone through its software upgrade and everything, when you do the install, there's a CAN map in there if you're riding a Harley-Davidson touring model for, you know, I guess mine's 2017, so I would say 2017 up, because that's for the Milwaukee 8. That includes the tab performance pipes with the Zombie Baffles, with or without head pipes. So if you have stock head pipes, it has that one. If you have aftermarket head pipes, there's a map for that. So that, I think, was a great thing that I didn't know. And what's unique about that is I told my friend D-Cycle about this, that he needed to check his check his map, because he had to run the auto tune on the Softail because he also has the zombie pipe performance pipes on his bike. The difference is that they do not, Vance & Hines, the FP3 does not have a map yet for the Softails, for the zombie performance pipes. So he had to do the auto tune. Now he's had very good results with his too, but certainly having a CAN map makes the process 100 times easier. And it is, I mean, it is simple. It's probably the easiest mod that I ever did on my bike, because quite truthfully, I didn't do a video because I started my riding season Friday. So I started my riding season essentially 4 days ago. And before I went out that day, I opened up the box, took off my saddlebag, my left side cover, and did the install literally 5 minutes before I went out to ride. So there really wasn't a reason to do an install video for something that literally took under 5 minutes to do. And there's 1,000 videos out there for that, so that it wouldn't have been unique content at all. It just would have been original content for my channel, but not unique in any respect, because there's a ton of videos out there. But certainly if you want to see kind of where it's at and kind of where I installed it and that kind of stuff, you know, let me know in the comments below. I'll take some pictures of it and post it on my Instagram if you guys really want to know. If you don't care, that's fine too, but if you do want to know, let me know, because I can show you kind of where I put it in the side panel, because I thought it was pretty unique that like I said, it almost was like there was a spot right for it, because it just slid right in there, and I didn't have to put any zip ties or anything to hold it in place. It's almost like there's a slot built in there for it. It's not going anywhere. So, but anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming in today and listening and watching the video. Again, I hope everybody's staying safe and that your families are protected and you're protected and you're following the guidelines set about. We got to get through this, and we will get through this. And for those of you that can't ride, you know, I'm feeling for you. I couldn't ride for almost 6 months, so being able to get out and get on my bike has felt amazing. Riding again has been something that I've sorely missed, and I desperately needed right now, with things being extremely stressful at work and kind of living in a pretty stressful environment. Riding has just been great, even just to get out for the few minutes each day that I've been able to get out. So again, thanks for tuning into my channel. If you haven't subscribed already, do so. Hit that subscribe button. If you like what I'm doing, you can give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please go out and check out the 5 Dirty Bikers. We have a YouTube channel, we have an Instagram, and we put out a podcast, and you can get it at any of your favorite podcast getting sites. And you can check us out on there. We have a lot of fun. Content's really good. We have some exciting things coming up, so you can go check out the 5 Dirty Bikers. And if you're listening and doing all those things, hey, I love you and appreciate you. So thanks again. This is Kid Moto. I'm out.